Welcome back to Bangkok. It is a travel day on Planet Doug. I just left from my hotel here. I stayed for 3 nights at the Khao San Art Hotel. That's the building right there, this big one that we're looking at. 4 or 5 stories high. I had a room up on the 2nd floor. It's a budget hotel, you know, designed for backpackers right here in the heart of the Khao San backpacker tourist district. And I like the place actually. The staff there are real standouts. Exceptionally helpful. They all speak excellent English, and they not only answer your questions, they sort of anticipate things that you might need and suggest things to you. Anyway, wonderful people there. And it has kind of a nice, open, airy ground part of the hotel, you know, a nice restaurant, kind of a chill out area, and they have openings alongside the street, so it has a very airy, spacious feeling to it. And you see a lot of people there. As I said, it's a backpacker place. You get a lot of people coming and going from all over Europe. You hear a lot of Italian, French, German, Greek, Spanish, you know, all kinds of languages, different styles of dress. And you just sort of have a good feeling staying there, being in amongst all these people, all that activity. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Of course, it is a budget hotel, so my room was perfectly fine, but it was on the small side, and it's not a luxurious sort of place. You're looking for a place to stay, but I had an air-conditioned room, my own private bathroom, no windows, no view, anything like that. But overall, yeah, can't really complain. I said that it's a travel day, but it's more like a travel 2 days, because I'm going in one shot basically from Bangkok to Georgetown, Penang, and that's going to involve a series of different types of transportation. Stage 1 is the Chao Phraya express boat, which will take me down to a pier near an MRT station. I'm going to Memorial Bridge. From Memorial Bridge, I walk to the MRT station, and then I'm going to take the MRT 3 stops to the train station. And I'm taking an overnight train. It leaves at 3:10 this afternoon, and it goes to the border with Malaysia. That's about a 1,000-kilometer trip by train. Takes 19 hours. And then I'll get off the train there, go through immigration and customs, fingers crossed. I get into Malaysia, and if I'm successful, I'll be taking another train from Padang Besar in Malaysia, probably a commuter train, to Butterworth Station, which is on the Malaysian mainland. And from Butterworth Station, you walk down to another pier, take another ferry that takes you across to Georgetown, and from there I'll either walk or take a taxi to my room. I booked a Airbnb room for the first time. I don't think I've ever used Airbnb before, but I saw a room on Airbnb that seemed appropriate to me. Very basic kind of place. And they offered a good discount if you stay for a week. So I booked the room for a week. And yeah, looking forward to that. I'm meeting someone that I've gotten to know through YouTube when I'm in Penang. And this friend of mine there, he's offered to lend me his Brompton folding bicycle while I'm there. So that's very cool. It's actually going to be waiting for me at a shop in Georgetown. So after I check into my room, my Airbnb, then I can take a short walk over to this place, and maybe even, not today, but tomorrow, pick up this Brompton bicycle and have a way of getting around Penang. So that is what is going on. Ferry, walking, MRT, train, another train, ferry, and then walking. And that should eventually get me to my room on Penang. And this, by the way, is the big tourist boat that you can also take up and down the river. It stops at these same places. Quite a bit larger than the Chao Phraya express boat that I've been taking. I think it's kind of a hop on, hop off sort of situation. You buy a ticket, then you can ride on this boat all day long and just get off at as many piers as you like, stay, visit something, and then get back on the next boat that comes by. And there it is, my orange flag tells me I'm at the right pier. And the big reveal, the orange flag boat coming up to dock. My last boat for this trip to Bangkok. I've had a really good feeling about Bangkok on this trip. Better, in fact, than on previous trips here. So it's kind of interesting. I definitely wish I'd arranged to stay longer. Could have really enjoyed myself here, especially with this weather. You cannot get better weather than this. Let's watch this skilled docking maneuver. I can't get enough of that. Looks easy in a way, but the driver of the boat is so far at the front, he really can't see what's going on at the back. But he nails it every time. Suck the rear end over. But it does get pretty busy on weekdays. The funny thing, one of the first things I noticed in Bangkok or Thailand years ago was that round silver tube that this woman is holding, like the ticket seller. See it right there? I remember seeing that tube on my very first trip to Bangkok a long time ago. And I was so curious about what it was, but it's the ticket sellers that use it to hold all the coins to give change, and they use the lid to tear the tickets. So it's a really kind of a fun thing. You hear it rattling and shaking all the time. Yeah, it's just a cool little device. There's a fellow orange boat. Good timing there. We left that dock or that pier, and they came right after us. off it goes. It's so much fun. It's basically a commuter boat. I mean, it's used by tourists, but it's used by local people just to go to school, go home, go to work, go shopping. So it's one of the best bargains you can find in terms of entertainment here in Bangkok. The walk from that pier to the MRT station is actually a really interesting one. I didn't film it when I walked by this time, but there's a large flower market behind me. When I went to the train station to confirm my ticket the other day, I came down the same alleyway and I went into the flower market. Yeah, it's a really interesting neighborhood, you know, pure market atmosphere, you know, you see all this sort of thing. A lot of goods being transported in and out of the market, trucks and hand carts and everything else. Interesting homes all piled up on the side of the alleyways here. And right up here there's a canal, and the MRT station is right on this canal. It's about 3/4 of a kilometer from the pier, I think. Not too far. This is a part of Bangkok I don't know much about, and I wish I knew more about actually. The canal system. I know that you can travel around the canals on boats as well, like little commuter boats that local people use. And I think there are tour boats you can take, you know, as a foreigner. You can pay and they'll race you up and down these Klang, I think they're called. Klong or Klang. That ought to be a lot of fun. And just on the other side of this canal, there's the entrance to the MRT. Not a moment too soon. And these guys are definitely prepared for some flooding. Look at the size of these pumps over there. And then they're hooked up to this pipe system. Look how huge they are. 2 of them. And those are blasting. The water must really come pouring out. They look to be in brand new, like good condition too. So yeah, get a lot of power out of those pumps, and I guess this is where they suck the water up down here and then blast it over to the other side. I'm inside the MRT now. Got my token ready to go. Tap here, and in we go. 3 stops to get to the train station. Beautiful modern MRT system. And by the time you get all the way down the series of stairs and elevators to reach the trains, you feel like you've reached the center of the earth, or at least you're trying to get there. At this stage, you think you've reached it, but no, you just get off this escalator, turn a corner, and yeah, you go down even deeper. I just missed my train. I don't think I missed it. I think this is my train. I find the map sign outside a little bit confusing. I can't figure it out intuitively by just glancing at it, so we'll have to see when this one changes, and I'll find out whether I'm on the right track or not. Yep, I'm on the right way. Samyot. That's where I needed to go next.
Station. Please mind the gap between train and platform.
And here we are, Hua Lamphong Station. And this is the map. Somehow when I come running up quickly, I glance at that, I have trouble figuring things out right away. I'm not sure why. It's pretty clear, to be honest, but I still get a little bit confused. I'm not sure if that's you know, the train I want or not. Pretty empty platforms right now. Following the signs. Exit 2 takes me to the railway station. And I guess that's it. Stage 2 complete. I made it to the train station. I think I'm going to get in the line here again and just confirm that my ticket is okay. I did that once already, but I wasn't quite confident that I was communicating that well with the clerk. So I've got plenty of time, so I thought I'd do it again. And here is the train station. Really high arched ceiling, and yet it's still very well air conditioned, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's an older train station, of course. It has kind of a classic vintage feeling about it. Very spacious, which I like. So that was taken care of. It was a little bit more of an effort than I expected, as always happens, right? The people in front of me in line just had some unbelievably complicated things to take care of. There were 3 people in a group, and I think each transaction, I don't know, required 15 minutes. It went on and on and on. Yeah, so I was in line for quite a long time, but hey, what else was I going to do at a train station? And when I got to the front, my transaction went very quickly. Just as when I was here the other day, I just showed them my PDF printout of my train ticket reservation and asked them, is this okay? Like, do I have a confirmed ticket? Is this all I need? And she says, yes, that's it. You know, that is your ticket. You don't need anything else. So the only remaining mystery is that when I look up at the big board, it's a pretty simple board. It only lists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trains at a time. And my train is on there, the Special Express 45, leaving at 3:10 from platform 3, which is all well and good. But then it shows the destination as Sungai Kolok, PBS. And I have no idea what that is, because I'm going to the town of Padang Besar. That's what it says on my ticket. But on the board up there it says something completely different, and I haven't been able to find that on the map, so I don't know what that place is. Sungai Kolok PBS, but apparently that's where I'm going. But I guess if I get on the wrong train, someone will let me know. And there's the boarding area. You just go through those gates onto the train, and I've got an hour and 10 minutes until the train leaves, so I might even go up there to Black Canyon Coffee and get a drink and sit down for a while. Up here at Black Canyon Coffee, and I ordered a frappe of some kind. I wanted a smoothie, but they're all out of the ingredients for a smoothie. So I went for a fancy frap or frappe. I never know how to pronounce that, oddly enough. But it looks like it's a pretty fancy drink. Thank you. There we have it. I feel like I deserve this after standing in that lineup for such a long time. It was one of those situations where you wouldn't be surprised if someone jumped out of a hidden room somewhere and said, surprise, you're on candid camera. You know, like this was all a large practical joke, because it went on for so long where there were 3 people at the window and then one left to go sit down, and then they're talking to the clerk, and then the clerk talks to the man, and then the man has to go talk to the woman who is sitting down to go get her, to bring her back to the window, and then this woman goes back to her seat, and then the man has to go back and get her again, and he comes back, and every time you just thought they were getting to the end of the transaction, it was like they reset and started all over again from the beginning. Everyone behind me in line, they abandoned my line completely. They just gave up and they went to all the other lines, and those are like moving so fast. But I've learned my lesson in the past. If I change lines, that line will now become the slow one. So I just pick a line and I stay in it, you know, whatever happens. But yeah, if it was sort of a trick or candid camera, it reminds me of that episode of Community, very, you know, one of my favorite TV shows. But there was one where they were doing an experiment about how long people would wait before they absolutely lose their minds. And of course they made the mistake of including Abed in the study group, and of course he would never be defeated by anything, and he waited patiently for so long, for so many hours, without freaking out, that the scientists, the researchers themselves, lost it completely. He defeated their own research. Anyway, it felt like I was being studied to see just how long I would wait patiently in that line, and I'm glad to say that I passed the test. I just waited, and I eventually got to the front. And now I've got my frappe to reward myself. So let's give this a try. I'm sure it will be delicious. Nice. Yeah. Icy coffee, basically. Nothing more fancy than that. And just before I started recording, there was a long message about something to do with the trains and a problem and an apology for the inconvenience. I hope that didn't have anything to do with my train. We'll see. And there's the waiting area down below me. I think it's just about time to head into the bathroom, see if I can clean up a little bit. I'm a little bit hot and sweaty from my trip to the train station. Get cleaned up and then head into the train, see if it's ready for boarding. And while I was sitting here, I noticed something I didn't see when I was at the train station before. On both sides, you can see it along the top there. Some really nice like pastel paintings, sort of classic scenes from around Thailand. And you see them over here on this side as well. We have a nice series of paintings. It's just a little touch I didn't notice before. The last time I was here, I was more paying attention to all these old photographs of the history of the train station. And you can see how it looked decades ago, and probably back when it was first built. Well, my train is at the very top of the board over there now, and it's flashing. So it's the next one to be boarding. Time to go see if I can track down platform number 3. So we're all set to head for the platform. Took a nice little towel shower in the bathroom to get freshened up. That was nice. Now we're looking for platform number 3. All right, over here. This is the whole area. I don't know how many, 7, 8, or 9 platforms in total, I guess. Platform 4 to Chiang Mai. Oh, platform 3, but there's no train here yet. So this is what I was talking about in English. It says Sunai Kolak PBS, but I don't know what that is. This is the place. I'm in car number 2, but I don't know if that means way here at the front of the train or the front of the train is on the other side. I'm not really sure. Check this out. That is a lot of bedding. Huh. I wonder what it's for. Couldn't all be for this one train, could it? That'd be very unlikely. So as I said, there's no train here yet. train is going to be mine. I have a feeling it's towards this end though, so I'm going to keep walking. I can look across at the other train, and that other train, this is car 11, car 10, car 9, so if my train follows the same pattern, then car 2 should be up here somewhere when the train finally pulls in. So I'm about halfway along the platform, and yeah, I'll just hunker down here and wait to see which direction I have to go. I passed a surprising number of foreigners, like Western backpackers back there. 3 or 4 sets, like couples with backpacks, I guess also on their way to Malaysia, just like I am. It's always nice to see. And there's an announcement keeps coming over the loudspeakers, a very long announcement in Thai, and then they repeat it in English, and at the end of it I hear her say, "We apologize for the inconvenience," and she says the word train about a dozen times. But I've heard the same announcement multiple times now, and I have no idea what it's about, so I don't know what the inconvenience is that she is apologizing for. Guess we'll find out. I've been hearing this announcement about something to do with 45. I keep thinking it must be train 45, but I can't understand what the announcement is saying, but I do see some movement there. I was hoping that was going to be my train, but no, it doesn't look like it. It's just a 2 cars connected together. Anyway, it's pretty clear that train 45 is delayed. It's already 3:10 now, and we're supposed to be leaving at 3:10, but the train isn't even here yet. So something's up. Something's up with Express Train 45 to Padang Besar. Actually, I started to think this train, that might actually be it right over there, because it has the name of that weird town I keep seeing, Sungai Kolok, and I'm thinking that maybe that locomotive is coming to pick it up, and they're going to pull it forward and then reverse into platform number 3. So this might be my train, and they're just moving it over. And they just connected. I think that's what's going on. I think this is my train. It just has to move over by 1 track. We'll see if my prediction is correct. And I think I was right. Oh no. I keep jumping the gun. I thought that was the rear end of my train, and that's just a tiny little car, 1 car again. But with that train gone, you can see the train station has opened up quite a bit. You can see across all these tracks and see more of the train station, the other platforms. I like these little guys. I've seen train station employees zooming around on these little carts. Still no train, but these guys are having lots of fun going up and down the tracks. It's funny that the later it's been getting in the afternoon, the sun is dropping in the sky in that direction, so the sunlight is getting further and further along the platform. So everyone is moving slowly away from the sun and moving onto the other platform. I've done the same thing, moved my bags out of the sun. I don't want to get your hopes up, but there's an announcement, and from a distance I saw some motion, and this train appears to be on a track lined up with platform number 3. Could be my train. If it is, it's well, it's about 3:30 now, so we're 20 minutes beyond our departure time. I don't know if that's normal for Thailand, actually. I was under the impression that the trains here were, you know, quite reliable and would generally leave on time and that sort of thing. So maybe something unusual happened with this train. But I imagine by the time we're all on board and ready to go, we'll be I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour late. But on a 19-hour trip, it's not really that long to wait. I'll show you my train. There it is, and now we'll find out how far I have to walk to get to car number 2. Alright, let's see, what car is this one? Car 12. And there's the Bangkok to Sungai Kolok. So that's 12. Number 2 is way down there. I actually don't have that far to walk. The train kept coming and coming. Oh. My section is disappearing. Now what? They took away my car.
Yeah, mine too.
There's number 2 or something like that. So here it is, my train. They're slowly putting the pieces together. And this is car number 2. And it has the right city name on it. Bangkok to Padang Besar. Oh. You want to go in reverse? In we go. Look at you. You got your little cubby hole here.
Yeah.
Where are the numbers hiding?
On the side here.
Oh, there they are. I'm looking for number 10. I'll see you later. Number 10. 10. 10?
Wow.
Number 10.
10. Oh, this is 10.
Yeah, 10.
Oh, this is 10. Oh.
เดี๋ยวเขาปูเตียงให้ตัวนี้นั่งไปก่อนนะ
For a big bag like this?
Yeah.
Just oh, here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sit down. 2 นะ
Oops. It's not so good.
2 11ว่างเหรอ ใช่
This particular journey is not off to the best start. I'm not sure what's going on, but these seats are just like so low. Like the bed up above me is like right on top of my head. It's like there's no way I can sit here for hours at a time. I guess it'll get better once they make up the beds, you know, and I can lie down. But yeah, in terms of luggage, they don't have any, because there's a upper berth and a lower berth. They don't have any, you know, luggage racks up above, and you have to put your bags like underneath your seats. There's quite a, you know, large space underneath
ไป
there.
ท้ายก่อนวะ
And yeah, I guess you you lean down like this, then your head isn't hitting the top. I don't know. That seems weird. I don't know if that's normal or maybe normally these beds are like lifted into position and then it isn't quite so low. But at least the train is here. They did something really funny with the train, because when it did back into position and I figured out where car number 2 would be, then I went walking up to the front of the train and I could see, you know, the sleeper cars, cars 2 and 1 and 3, these cars. But just as I got close to them, they were disconnected and then they disappeared. Those cars had backed the seat ones into position, and then the rest of them were uncoupled and just drove away. So I still didn't have you know, car number 2. But then I just waited for a little while, and then another set of cars pulled in, connected with this one, and then this is car number 2. Yeah, and seat number 10. Here I am. So this is what the seats look like. When I first got on the train, they hadn't made up the beds yet, so all these upper berths were lowered. So in fact, it was like a big roof sitting right on top of my head. So I wasn't sure what was going on. But since then, they came by and they locked them all into position. So everything is nice and comfortable now. And I just wanted to come down and see what's at the end of this train. Gotta track down the bathrooms. There's 2 toilets here on this car. Pretty basic. There you are. Window view out onto the platforms. Little sink. One on that side, and oh, okay, a squat toilet on this side. Oh, this is kind of nice. There's actually a little spot here where you can freshen up a little bit. Found a sign here at the doorway that this particular train is a Daewoo heavy industries train, built in 1996 in Seoul, Korea. Kind of interesting. Yeah, a lot of the train is empty. There's a lot of empty berths here. Train stage, or train stage number 1, is now underway. We're just pulling out of the station here in Bangkok. It's 4:30, so we're an hour and 20 minutes late for departure. I don't know why. There was some kind of a problem with the train or the tracks, or maybe the train was delayed on its way to Bangkok and they didn't have time to get it ready, you know, for the return journey. I don't know. But yeah, we're underway now. As you can see, the platform is going by. I don't know if a train like this can make up the time or not. I mean, we were scheduled to arrive at 9:50, about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. But since we're leaving an hour and 20 minutes late, so I guess we won't arrive until more like 11:30, noon, something like that. But who knows? Maybe they can put the pedal to the metal and go faster and make up the hour. I'm not sure. And either way, it doesn't really matter. About 6 o'clock on our journey. Still light outside, as you can see. We're on the outside of Bangkok now, but it's time to make up all the beds, I guess. So I have the lower berth. My seatmate has the upper berth. And this fellow is an expert, obviously. He's done this so many times, he can just whip through these like nothing. I guess you can decide when you want the berths to be made up, and I could easily have waited, but my seatmate, I think he wanted to get into his own berth, so he suggested that we have the beds made up right now, and I'm fine with that. And much of the train is actually empty, so the seats across from my seats where I am now, they're actually unoccupied. So if I want to, I can just sit here for a while as well until I want to move into my bed. I don't know, maybe I'll go there right away. I don't know. I can lean against the backrest and keep doing whatever it is I'm up to. And that's how it looks when it's all put together. That's berth number 9, the upper berth. And I assume if I spread out my curtain down there, it'll have a number 10 on it. I was actually confused about the seating as well when I got on, because my eyes originally went down towards these 2 lower numbers. So I kept seeing all these numbers like 19, 20, 17, 18. So I was walking on and on looking for number 10, but it turns out it's 19, 20 if there are 2 people sitting here, but it's berth number 10 if there's just 1 person, So I eventually found where I was supposed to sit and sleep. But as I said, since the seats over here are open, nobody's sitting here, I think I'll just stay here for a little while yet before I climb into bed. And there's the outside world. Not a whole lot to report. It's about 8 o'clock at night now. Most of the train has gone to sleep, but we still have people going up and down the aisles selling different things, and a woman just came to my chair here and asked if I'd like a cup of coffee. And of course I said yes. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee served to me right here in a minute. As I said, it's nighttime now, so looking outside, you don't see very much. All you see is my reflection. And I've since moved the curtain over my sleeping berth over there, so eventually I'll be climbing inside there. I might have climbed in there earlier. I'm just sitting here, like editing a video on my phone, and I would do it in there lying down, except that the way it works, once you move this lower bench portion down, this becomes the bed, but this stays in place, and you end up with a big kind of opening right here, so you can't actually sit on the bed and lean against the wall. There's just like a giant opening there that you fall into, if that makes any sense. My coffee is coming. There it is.
It's really hot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
There we are, hot cup of coffee. Can you believe that? It's so hot, it's burning my fingers through the paper cup. And I'm never happier than when my fingers are burning from a hot cup of coffee. And this is one of those like 3-in-1 packages. I could choose between Nescafe and Arabica. And I went for the Arabica because it's something different. Yeah, nice. Yeah, different flavor from Nescafe, which is what I was hoping for. I can see a little bit of light reflecting off water out there. So I think we're running beside a river, but yeah, I can't see anything out the window. Everything's dark out there. And so this is me saying good night from inside my little sleeping cubicle on the train. I'm using my smartphone to give me a little bit of light in here, because there are no lights or anything inside here. But yeah, it's about 10 o'clock, time to climb into bed here and get some sleep. And I should wake up in Padang Besar, whether I'm in Thailand or across the actual border in Malaysia. I just don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. Anyway, here's the inside of my berth. That's the foot of my bed, and then behind me, pillow and everything. So yeah, I think I'll be quite comfortable here tonight. I survived a night on a bus just sitting upright in a chair, so this is actually going to be a pure luxury by comparison. So I'll see you in the morning. Train update. It's 6:30 in the morning now, and I have to talk quietly because most people are still in their berths and either resting or sleeping. But yeah, we're about just outside of Suratani, and I was checking on Google Maps. It sort of feels like after being on a train the entire night, and as long as we have been, feels like I would wake up in the morning to be right at my destination. But we are still hundreds of kilometers away from the Malaysian border, and we still have a lot of hours to go. So I'm just settling in to the morning, enjoying the view out the window. It was completely dark, of course, when I got up. I've got fired up my laptop. I have it sitting in front of me here. But the sky is starting to lighten. And we're just pulling into some kind of a town. I'm guessing that this is the outskirts of Suratani. And it's probably going to take us a while to move into this town, stop at the train station, and then move out the other side. But yeah, here's my cubicle, laptop on my lap, and yeah, up and down. Oh yeah, some people are awake. So I just get to enjoy a few more hours on the train. I'm wondering whether some kind soul is going to be going up and down the aisle and with hot cups of coffee. I managed to get a cup of coffee last night, so that was nice. Maybe I'll get my morning coffee too. I wasn't able to get any of that on video. It was way too hectic, and you're not really supposed to have a camera running when you go through immigration and customs, but I can report that I was successful, and I'm standing here on the KTM commuter train platform in Padang Besar, Malaysia. Can you believe it? Amazing train overnight, really comfortable. Had a wonderful experience on the train. You know, though it was running 3 hours late, so I'm here 3 hours later than I expected to be. And then I pretty much got through customs and immigration without any issues. They asked me the usual questions, particularly because I had been in Thailand for so long. They wanted to know what was up with that, and why was I coming to Malaysia, and how long was I going to stay. You know, your normal immigration questions. I answered all of them, and I was stamped into the country. I got the normal 90-day social visit pass, so that's good. I'd heard a lot of stories online of people getting a 30-day stamp instead if they had been in Thailand for a long time. It just made them a little bit less eager to give you the 90 days, I guess, and they were given 30 days. But in my case, yeah, I kind of sailed through. And I'm here on the platform waiting for the 2:35 train, the commuter train, to take me to Butterworth, Penang. And yeah, once I get there, I'll head over to my Airbnb. I wanted to mention that all the mysteries of this train station have been solved. I was so curious about how this place worked, and even with all the answers I got, I still wasn't confident that I knew what would happen when I got here. But basically, this train station, the Padang Besar train station, is technically half in Malaysia and half in Thailand. And the train coming down from Bangkok stopped at this train station, but in the Thailand half. And you basically get out of the train there, and you walk straight into the building, go through Thailand immigration and customs, then you go through, you know, Malaysian immigration and customs, and then you exit out the other side, and you're still in the same building, in the same train station, but now you're on the Malaysian side of the same building, the same station. And now I'm down here on platform 2, waiting for my KTM commuter train, which I think is arriving right now. Good timing. I guess step by step I'm documenting this trip. So now I'm on the KTM train, and it's a very familiar environment for me because I've ridden on these KTM trains in Malaysia multiple times, and I really like them. And it's great to be able to get on one right at the origin station, because this trip begins at Padang Besar, right? So the train is almost completely empty. I can see this car ahead of me has almost nobody in it. Well, almost nobody. What am I saying? It has nobody in it. And then back here, my car has a few people. And I was just speaking with the couple that you see there standing up, and they are YouTubers, and their channel is called 2 Feet 1 Camera. I think that's the name of their channel. 2 Feet 1 Camera. I'll have to look it up to confirm that. Yeah. Step by step, just got off the train here in Butterworth, and I'm really curious to see what the whole Butterworth station is like now, because I've been here quite a few times actually, and made the trip from the bus station and the train station to the ferry terminal, but I got the impression that everything was under construction, like they were building new walkways, new piers, new everything. So it might look completely different to what I'm used to. But anyway, we're gonna find out. First step is to get from the train platform up to the top. And this is interesting. You have to scan your ticket on the way out as well. There we go. A loud clunking sound. Looks like those things are going to shake themselves apart. So far the experience is the same as what I remember from before, because you had to go down kind of a strange, almost tunnel-like walkway following signs to get to the ferry. So there's the outside of the Butterworth KTM station. I was looking for a bathroom, but I didn't see any bathrooms at all through there. But anyway, you follow all these little arrows. Last ferry 8:30 p.m. and then you go down this almost tunnel-like structure, because you're surrounded by construction sites, I think. And I thought all of this would have been finished by the time I got here this time. At least I think I'm heading towards the ferry. I need another sign. Penang Central? Where's my ferry sign? There's that way to KTM. Well, I guess Penang Central, okay, that is the dock for buses, cars, and ferries. So we are on track. And soon I will find out whether we have a new ferry or we still have the old ones. Still finding our way. Ferry, bus, and taxi. But this is new as well. I don't ever remember coming across an elevator before. I guess you have to take an elevator now to get to the ferry terminal this way. And with my large backpack, I'm gonna wait for the next one. I didn't even know what button to click on the elevator, but everyone else clicked for a floor number 2. When you come out of the elevator, you see another one of these signs. So our journey is continuing. As I said, it's a real complicated route to get from there to the ferry, but they give you lots of these signs to follow. Like a little bit of a treasure hunt. Okay, this is new. Okay, this is a brand new thing. I've never seen this before. So, oh, that's the bus tickets. I've lost track of any ferry signs. I just kept walking in a straight line and I eventually saw another ferry sign up there. So we're still on track. Do I go down? I don't know where to go. Ferry, this one says turning to the right. And this one points straight ahead, but does that mean straight ahead and down? I don't know. Those look like people who could be waiting for a ferry. Oh no, those are buses. So maybe ferries, we go straight ahead. Ah, there we go. Another ferry sign. I do need a bathroom, and hello, and I think we have bathrooms here. Ferry, this way to ticket counter. To Georgetown. And they're hiring. I could use a job. What are the benefits? I'll have to read that later. At the Padang Besar train station, I understood there would be like a money changing center there. A counter, a bank, or money changer, but I didn't see anything. And there were a few foreigners on my train coming down here to Butterworth who were all in the same situation. They couldn't change money. They couldn't get ringgit. So when they went up to the window to buy the ticket on the KTM train, they couldn't because they didn't have any ringgit, and they couldn't buy any in the train station. At least none of us could find the ticket, the money change office, you know? And eventually some Malaysians came and helped them out and bought the ticket for them, and I think they accepted Thai baht in exchange because they had extra Thai baht. In my case, I'm lucky because I have a whole bunch of Malaysian ringgit left over from my last trip here, so I didn't need to change money. But I couldn't remember how much the ferry cost. Guess I'll find out when I get to the window. Yeah, this is all different too. They used to have these really vintage, like classic turnstiles you had to go through, but those all seem to be gone. Or maybe they still exist and you just get a token here to put in the turnstile or something. I'll find out, but certainly never had to go through a shopping mall before. But that route took me through a shopping mall. Oh. Huh. Funny thing is, I remember taking this ferry before, and getting change for your ticket was always a big problem. They never had change, and they didn't have enough change. And even though the new system is being put in place and the turnstiles are gone, they still have trouble getting change. The guy ahead of me was sent away rather brusquely by the ticket counter because he was trying to pay with a 50 ringgit note, and the ticket is like 1 ringgit 20. So he did not want to give that much change. He didn't have that much change to give. So he basically said, no, sorry, you're gonna have to go get change somewhere else. And here we are on the mainland, on the shore, and looking across to Penang. And I don't think that's one of my ferries. The ferry I want is over here somewhere. I don't know what the schedule is for them. They just sort of run back and forth all day long. You just wait until the next one shows up. And more signs, more corners, more hallways. This is a complicated journey. I assume at some point when all this construction is done, it's all going to be very streamlined and it won't be quite this complicated. I see some large, modern, seating areas in there, and that's probably where they're going to go eventually when the construction is done. But for now, you still have to make this complicated journey. Almost there. Yeah, it looks like people, oh, the ferry is here. Everybody's just walking right on board. Ah, the ferry is docking right now. Isn't that awesome to be able to end a journey like this with a another ferry ride? That's great. But this boat is definitely different from the ones I've taken in the past. This one is a Langkawi Express. So this would be for people only. The ones I used to take were always for, it's like a vehicle ferry. This one that's docking right now, that might be a vehicle ferry, I'm not sure. Let's see if we can get a quick look at it. Huh. Yeah, some kind of a vehicle ferry. Quite a large one. Thought I better get on board this one. Don't want to miss it now that I'm here. Vehicle ferry. Let's see what's going on down here. Okay, just more seating. I was hoping there'd be a way to go outside, but it doesn't look like you can. Best I can do maybe is this window seat. I can shoot a bit of video out the window. I'm on board. I chose this side for my window seat because got that large ship out there next to the oil refineries. It's almost not worth getting a seat because the trip is very short. We'll be there in no time. But I might as well take advantage of it and sit down. Saw that they closed the door up there, sealed us in, and right after they did that, we started pulling away from the dock. So we are on the move. This kind of makes me feel at home because in my hometown in Canada, it's known for all the oil refineries, just like what we're looking at here. And all these large, like, Great Lakes ships come to the refineries up the rivers and the Great Lakes. It kind of looks like my hometown over there, very industrial. And we're turning around to go nose first. And that's the dock that we just left from. Yeah, I miss the experience of the vehicle ferry. It's more enjoyable because you can walk around on the outside. I think it's that big blue one there, that one there, the rapid ferry. That's the one I used to take. Yeah, just like that. And then you can walk all the way around the outside of the ferry and get beautiful views and be outside. This area over here is the, you know, the tourist district, Georgetown. And we're already slowing down to dock, so very short trip, maybe 5 minutes at the most. The rest of the boat. Yeah, they had toilets on board, which is nice, but it's a really short journey. Don't really need them. And I'm hanging back the last one off the boat. Ferry. The Langkawi Express. Yeah, it's a completely different place to arrive as well. I've never come to this spot before. It was always a different dock, I think. And here we are on Penang. Whoa! I thought that was a building over there. But that's a cruise ship. I thought that was an apartment building. There's so many floors and balconies. But it's actually some sort of a massive cruise ship. Look at that. Royal Caribbean International. Can you imagine the size of that thing? That is crazy. And this is where I am, and from here I'll either take a taxi or walk to my Airbnb. It's a little bit of a long walk to get where I need to go, but we'll see how I feel as I exit from here, and if I run into a friendly taxi driver. I think I came out the wrong way. I often do stuff like that. I was the last one out, so all the passengers were getting on as I was trying to leave, so I couldn't exit by the normal route. But this is a Swettenham Pier, and I think I was supposed to be exiting out of those doors right there. So I don't know where this passageway is taking me. I think I'm supposed to be over there. Those are all the people that got off the boat. So far I'm walking, and we'll see how far I can get. And passing by one of the sites here. This is the, as far as I can tell, the Queen Victoria Memorial Clock Tower. At least that's what it's called on Google Maps. Just slowly working my way along. So you can see from all the buildings around here, it has a very, you know, colonial feeling to the architecture. I think crossing here, I think I'm heading into an area called Little India. A little bit up and to the left, I think, is Little India. Everything seems very quiet here today. Maybe it's normal this time, or this day of the week. Or I'm wondering whether I'm just sort of seeing the lingering effects of the pandemic and low tourism. Because I'm seeing a lot of these shops, like over here, closed for rent, for sale, for rent. Seeing a lot of places like that, and a lot of the businesses that are open, that are still in business, or just happen to be closed today. Like closed gates here, closed doors, closed doors. Very few people out on the streets. Yeah, beautiful place though, Georgetown. It's very, what's the word for it? Kind of quaint. Lots of interesting buildings, restaurants, cafes. There's a gem restaurant, Indian cuisine, across the road. It's just an interesting place to hang out in, to walk around. It's always something interesting to look at. This is an area that I'm relatively familiar with. There's quite a large temple on my right over here, and there's often a lot of ceremonies going on at the front here with all these little shops and things. But the guest house I usually stay at is up here on this road called the 75 Travelers Lodge, and I've been trying to get in touch with them for this trip to book a room, but I would never hear back from them. And then a friend of mine reached out and asked someone who lives in Penang to go see for themselves, and they went to check the place out and found out that they had closed. And the story was that because of COVID and no tourism for 2 years, they went out of business, so they shut down. And the two of the partners of 75, I guess, opened up another guest house of some kind, but they didn't have any rooms available. This is the street. As you can see, it's quite historic. A lot of old buildings here, very interesting. And all up and down here you have guest houses and restaurants and things like that. But again, I'm not seeing very many people. Steward House here. Coffee shop. Yeah, as you can see, it's quite a beautiful part of Georgetown. Almost anywhere you stop in this area, and down this street in particular, you just aim your camera in any direction and you'll find something interesting. An old building. And then of course you start to see a lot of the street art that Penang is famous for. Will start popping up in these alleyways if you turn a corner. Oh, yeah, there's one of the famous pieces. You see that quite often. Been up there for a very long time. Yeah, look down there. Beautiful little street. The name of this street, by the way, is right here on the sign, Lebu Muntri. And we're just crossing over another very well-known street called the Love Lane. And Love Lane is jammed from end to end with spots for tourists, guest houses and restaurants and coffee shops. And 75 Travelers Lodge used to be just up here on the left somewhere. I just want to walk by the place and see what it looks like now. So this is a Star Lodge here, and if I remember right, it was the same owners as 75 Travelers Lodge. It was the same people that ran this place, so they're still open. Though, as I said, they didn't have any rooms available. Beautiful temple there, and right up ahead on the left, I see the sign still for 75 Traveler Lodge. Exactly the same as how I remember it. Same sign, same doors, except the doors are locked and closed, and it is for sale or for rent. So sad. And they have a notice here: we have temporarily shifted to Star Lodge. That's what my friend told me, that they had, like, he said they told them they had moved or like opened up a new location. But as far as I remember, they've always operated both of them. Star Lodge and 75 were operated by the same people. And I guess they just shut down 75 and they're only running a Star Lodge right now. But I'm not staying here. My place is like about a kilometer north of here, I think. Still got a bit of walking to do. It's a really nice neighborhood for Star Lodge and Traveler Lodge. Another quite interesting temple here. And I think on previous visits I knew the history of these temples, but I've forgotten about them.
Can go in.
Well, not today. I have my big bag. I'll go to my hotel. There's the gate, and the man was just saying, he was encouraging me to go inside and take a look, but I'll do that later on. I'll drop off my bags first thing and then head out exploring tomorrow, I think. Bit of a traffic snarl here. Just checking in on my way to my Airbnb. I sort of left that classic historic district behind, heading into a more ordinary, busy part of Penang, I guess. But you still see all kinds of interesting architecture, like all those shops behind this bus over there. You know, all those old buildings. And right across from me as well. Still quite an interesting set of buildings. And I have to go to this main street, turn right and a left, and I'll be at my Airbnb. I'm zeroing in on my home in Penang. My instructions have brought me to this building right across from a college, and I think that's a door I have to get through using a passcode, and that door will lead me to my small room for the next 7 days. I will show you what my small room looks like, and that will be the end of this video and the end of this very long journey from all the way from Bangkok. Wow, thinking all the way back, what was it, walking, then the Chao Phraya Express ferry, then walking, then the MRT, then a 23-hour train ride, the way it turned out, and then going through customs and immigration at the border, then a 2-hour train ride, then a long walk through some weird buildings, then a ferry to Penang, and then a 2.5-kilometer walk to here. And I feel great. Go figure. Who knew I had all this energy in this inside this body? But anyway, I'm gonna go in, take a look at the room, show you the room, and then I'll say goodbye until the next video. Not making much progress, I'm afraid. This is actually the very first time I've ever used Airbnb. So it's a bit of an interesting experience from that point of view. But it turns out that the code they gave me to get into the building was wrong. I had to figure that out. I had to add an extra numeral to the code they gave me in order for it to work. And now the code they gave me to get into the actual floor for my room, it's not working either. I can't get through. Or maybe maybe I'm on the wrong floor? Because in all their instructions, they didn't actually say what floor I'm supposed to be on. And down here, the door has the name of some kind of a business on it. Okay, turns out I am on the first floor, not the second. And the door, as I said, has the name of a business on it. So there's nothing here to indicate that it's any kind of an Airbnb accommodation. Plus, even though this is the right floor, the code they gave me is not the right code. So I had to fiddle around and keep punching in numbers until I figured out what it was. But the door opens, so in we go. And here's the place. It has a little bit of a kitchen going on. Washing machine. Shared bathrooms. 2 of them here. And then there's a hallway of rooms down here. A bunch of them. Whew. It wasn't easy, but I found the place. I figured out how to get into the building, how to get into my floor, and then how to get into my room. And here's the room. Like I said, a very small, low budget kind of place. I have a single bed for me. Very nice new looking air conditioner, which is the most important thing. A wardrobe. The last battery for my GoPro finally died just as I was giving the tour of my room. So I charged up a battery a little bit and then I'll finish off my room tour. I was just saying that, you know, this room has a single bed, the air conditioner, the wardrobe, and it has a desk here with a chair, and which is kind of nice. And beyond that, I mean, there isn't a whole lot to talk about. It's the kind of room that suits me because I tend to travel with a lot of things where I can make the room suitable for myself. Like, for example, I find in Malaysia in general, they don't put sheets on the bed. Like this bed only has like a scratchy brown blanket. So that's all you get. You just sort of get this blanket, which I guess is normal for Malaysia, but I always like to have a sheet. So I bring my own sleeping sheet. So that will make the bed more comfortable. And once you're back in Malaysia, you're dealing with this bizarre, well, I call it bizarre, you know, which is basically the British style plug, you know, the giant one with the 3 prongs. And of course, I don't own anything with those 3 prongs. And then you end up with a whole series of adapters because I need more than 2 plugs, but a normal plug like this, like which has a, you know, one of my adapters, that doesn't fit in there. So you have to take something like this with the 2 prongs, add it to your, you know, North American 2 prongs, and then that will go in, but it still won't go in because it has a safety. That 3rd one has to be depressed at the same time. So then you need one of these special adapters, and that goes in there, and then this goes in there, and then that goes in there, and finally I have a plug that I can use. So as long as you're traveling with things like this and your own sheet and your own bath towel and a whole bunch of other stuff, then you can hang out in a small, simple, bare room like this quite comfortably. So this is my room, as I said, for the next 7 days. All I really care about, to be honest, is the air conditioner and the Wi-Fi. And so far, the Wi-Fi seems okay. So as long as that's taken care of, then I'll be happy. So time to rest a little bit, maybe have a cup of coffee. And that is the end of the long journey from Bangkok to Georgetown, Penang. And I'll see you in the next video.